Houday, Bengals. Whoa, this is different. That's a different look. This
Wasn't
doesn't
expecting
guard. There we go. Houday, Bengal fans. He is Mon. He is Eric. I am Jake. This is the Bengals Pulse, the heartbeat of our Cincinnati Bengals. A big day for our Cincinnati Bengals and the city of Cincinnati. An exciting day. We're going to talk about that and a bunch of other stuff tonight. We have a special guest. It's crossover night. It's crossover night tonight with the Bengals Pulse and Strawberry Ice. Eric, why don't you do the honor of bringing our next guest on, somebody we are very excited to talk Bengals football with tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody I'm very, very jealous with. One, he's got a great voice for radio. Very jealous of that. But he gets all these amazing guests, and we had the pleasure of going on his show for about an hour just a little bit ago. So for those that didn't join us, we might cover some of the same topics. But let's bring him on. Let's Jeff from Sports with Strawberry Ice, also known as the Iceman.
What's up, guys? How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Hey.
Long time no see.
Long time no see.
Long time no see. Thanks for coming on, Ice. We really appreciate it, Jeff. We appreciate you having us on your show earlier this evening. Now you were on the Bengals Pulse.
I finally made it. I made it to the big time. I made it on Bengals Pulse. Now. I'm good now. I'm good.
Hey, you made it. Now you can cross it off your bucket list.
It's crossed off. Got it. All right. I'm good.
We really appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on. We had a great time on your show earlier. As Eric said, probably going to cover a lot of the same stuff. Got some new stuff maybe to throw at you as well, Jeff. But thank you so much for coming on. Guys, let's talk about the big news in Cincinnati. Again, this is a very big day for our Bengals, for all of Bengaldom out there. The Bengals have agreed with Hamilton County on it's an 11-year deal. They agreed on the 10-year, but it's actually an 11-year deal with the county to stay in Cincinnati. Guys, this deal also has the same provisions as the other one. They have the opportunity to have 5 2-year extensions with this deal as well. So listen, for all of you guys that were stressed out about this, our Bengals are going nowhere. They are in the Queen City for a very, very long time. This is great news. Ice, we'll start with you. Give us your thoughts on the Bengals finally agreeing to this deal with Hamilton County, and it's a great night, right?
It's a great night. I mean, it's just like any other contract negotiation the Bengals do. It comes down to the wire. I mean, I know June 30th was the actual date, but we're close enough. So, I mean, they're going to be here for the next 11 years, potentially longer. It's a good deal for the county. It's a good deal for the Bengals. It's a better deal than we had before. Hopefully, once they get the contract signed, we can go to the state and get some of this money that the Browns are getting. Because if they're getting some, then we should get some, is all I got to say. Yeah. But we'll find out how that goes. And then you got to find out, like I said, if it's actually constitutional, which is one thing I heard, for them to actually give the teams money. But that's another thing that they're hurdle they'll have to jump. But it's a good thing for the Bengals fans. Bengals aren't going anywhere. Like I said, this county and the city would be crazy to let an NFL team leave. I mean, I never got into the hype, especially this time, of them leaving. Last time, I mean, Mom, we talked about this. We talked about this on my show. They could have went to Baltimore 30 years ago. That was a real thing that could happen. I don't think it got that close at all this time. No. But so that's where I'm at. It's a good day. Great day to be a Bengals fan. Now, go sign Trey, sign Shamar. Let's go win a damn Lombardi. Let's go win like 10 in a row, like Mon said. I think that's good.
I love it. Mon, let me ask you, because this is a deal. We don't really know what all the hangups were. We kind of feel like maybe it was a little bit of what the Bengals were putting forth towards this deal. We have read now the Bengals are – what are they? They're in the money for what, $100 and something million that they have to put towards all the new renovations and everything, Mon. What are your thoughts on the whole thing?
Well, I'm glad that it's locked in for at least 11 more years. You're right. They do have a rolling extension. It's going to be a little different from the last one, though, Jake. I think the two extensions after the 11-year, it'll be a 5-year extension. It's so they can be here for another 10 years with two potential extensions. It's a little more, it's different from the previous ones. I'm glad it happened. Jeff, you're absolutely right. This wasn't contentious like the late 90s, because in the 90s, we talked about it on his show. Bengals were offered what Art Modell took in Cleveland to go to Baltimore. Mike Brown was offered that first, and he decided to stay in Cincinnati, which was a good move by him. I'm glad he did that. He shows how much he loves the local community here. But there's still some work to be done. Remember last year when they first started this, it was going to be $800 to $1 billion to renovate Paycor Stadium. Well, basically it's $470 million now. So they got to come up with some more funds. Hopefully the state steps up and gives them I think initially the Bengals were looking at $350 million from the state. I don't know if they're going to get that, but if the Browns get $600 million, the Bengals better get something, so maybe, that will help out a lot. I don't know where they're going to get that money from. It's a little controversial. I'm glad it's over with. We don't have to worry about it. The Bengals are going to be here, and let's get Shamar. Let's get Trey. Let's get this team ready. Let's win some Super Bowls, because when they start talking about this in 11 years, they might build them a brand new stadium. So let's just let's have a successful 2025 and build from that.
Eric, how in the hell, Eric, let me ask you this. How in the hell is the Factory of Sadness up for more money than us? How in the hell is that? It's like I'm living in the Twilight Zone when I hear the Browns are getting $600 million for a team that has never won an AFC championship. They haven't even won our division. They have not even won our division. I mean, how is
politics?
That?
It's politics.
Listen, the baby brother always gets more. The one that doesn't have success, the parents always go out there and throw money at the baby brother. I don't know if you're a middle child or only child or where you're at, Jake, but the baby brother always gets it all. Middle child always has to work harder for it. The Bengals are the middle stepchild. They have to work the hardest, and they really have to go out there. Before we get on to some other topics, I want to get Jeff's thoughts on this. To us, the Bengals are everything. We live in Florida. We're crazy because we chose this team. We live so far away. I want to know what it's like as a native Cincinnati guy, and how it is for people around there. You hear some people that didn't want these negotiations to go well because maybe they weren't big Bengals fans, they didn't care about sports. But when I'm up there, most of the people say "Who dey?" Most of the people are in. What's it like, and what do the Bengals mean to that city?
Oh, they mean everything. I mean, there's a difference when the Bengals have a good season and when the Reds have a good season. And we're still a quote-unquote baseball town, but the Castellinis own it, and that's a whole other subject to get into. But when the Bengals are on their runs, like when we went to the AFC Championship game back-to-back years, we went to the Super Bowl. I just go back to this point when Evan McPherson kicked the game-winning field goal in Kansas City to send us to the Super Bowl for our first time in almost 40 years. This city went nuts. I remember I was at my parents' house. All my family was there. My sister and my brother-in-law dropped me off down at the Banks, and they were going home. I was going down there to celebrate. I was hugging people I don't even know. I haven't seen them since then. We were all having a great time. The beer was flowing. Cigars were flowing. It's just there's a difference when the Bengals are winning in this city than the Reds or anybody else. I can't explain it. It's just a different atmosphere. It's like we'll go back to the 90s when the Bengals were what they were in the 90s. People are like, "Oh, you're from Cincinnati?" Like, "Yeah, from Cincinnati." "Oh, you're a Bengals fan?" Yeah, I'm a Bengals fan. Now it's like, "You're from Cincinnati?" "Oh, you're a Bengals fan?" Yeah, Joe Burrow. Yeah, Joe Burrow's. Oh yeah, I remember this. We went to. Like I said, my wife's from Florida. So in 2021 Super Bowl, we went down to Florida because the Buccaneers were in there. So we didn't go to the Super Bowl, but we went down there and stayed with the family. We went to the NFL day, the experience, NFL experience. So we went to that, and I'm wearing my white Joe Burrow jersey. And I'm walking around, and I'll never forget this dude. He's a Philly guy wearing Eagles stuff. And this is after, Joe Burrow's rookie year or whatever, and he got hurt. I'm walking around, and this guy goes, Bengals? What? Why are you wearing the Bengals? I was like, because we got Joe Burrow. He's freaking awesome. Oh, okay. I would have loved to see that guy the next year because I went back down there. Everybody loved the Bengals. I wear Bengals stuff. People were like, oh, my goodness, we were rooting for you guys so bad. We wanted you to win. It's just different, man. I just can't explain how much this team means to the city. And nowhere like Houday. You can go anywhere in this country, and if you see a Bengals fan, you say Houday, they know to answer back Houday back. And that's just something. We'll walk around and say Houday, Houday, Houday. You hear it all the time. Now, there are people that don't care and don't want to have any taxpayer money going for this team, which my brother would be one of them. He's not a sports guy. That's just the way he is. And he's like, I don't want to. He likes football, but he doesn't want to go down to the games or anything. He doesn't want to pay for it. So you do have that small contingency that are like that. But I'd say 98 to 99% of the people here in Cincinnati want the Bengals, are ecstatic that they're going to be here. And you're going to have the people like, well, it's not signed yet. You don't know what it's going to happen. They're not going anywhere. So, yes, the excitement in the city is palpable, and we are ready to freaking explode on this season. You get Trey Henderson, signed, you get Shamar Stewart. This fan base is going to celebrate like we won the damn Lombardi, because that's what that means to get these guys in there. I'm telling you, boys, we are on the cusp of this. And I think Mon said it on the show, and he said 10 in a row. I think we can win 4 or 5. I really do. With Joe Burrow and the guys we have, and we got them locked down for a while. It just depends on the defense. But, yes, to answer your point, it's a long-winded answer. This team means a ton to this city.
It's going to happen. I just want to add something real quick. There are critics out there, you're right, about the stadium deal. The Bengals put it in their press release. It doesn't need to be in a press release. There's a lot of revenue generated from the Bengals and the Reds. Look at
the whole Banks area. That's because of the Reds and the Bengals. Yeah.
In the mid-'90s, me and my wife would fly to Cincinnati to see the Bengals play. We stayed in Kentucky. We stayed in that giant hotel with the spinning bar. It used to be a Hyatt. I don't even know what it's called now.
That's Radisson. Yeah.
Radisson. That's where we stayed. We spent 3 hours in Cincinnati. That was during the game. Then we came back to Kentucky. Now when we go to Cincinnati, we stay in the downtown at the Hilton. We love that area. Mm-hmm. And the Banks is hopping. And, that when we do stay there for the weekend, we come in on a Friday night, we meet families from New Jersey, from Indiana, some from California that fly in for the game. They're not always local. They're not always locals.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you guys probably experienced. I've had people from across the pond, and I'm not just talking about the New England guys, but from Ireland. I've had people from Germany reach out to me that are Bengals fans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how in the hell are you a Bengals fan? But that's what's cool about this whole thing of the reach of Joe Burrow and everybody. Good.
Jeff, let me tell you this.
Hold on, Jake. Just wanted to add before we move on. The Bengals were really, really close. If we would have gone to that Super Bowl, if we wouldn't have had that stupid penalty pushed out of bounds, the Bengals were this.
In the stands. Yeah.
The Bengals were this close to becoming America's team and taking that over from the Cowboys. There are so many fans out there that are Bengals fans because of Joe Burrow, because of this run. I've got a lot of young kids that I coach in flag football that are Bengals fans because of Joe Burrow. We were so close, and I think that we're still close to becoming America's team. All we need is that Super Bowl victory, and the Cowboys aren't going to have this because it's cool to be a Bengals fan now. We went through all that bullshit back when we were kids, and now it's cool to be a Bengals fan. Go ahead, Jake.
Let me say this because Jeff.
Yeah, you did.
About it. Mon will agree with this. I know. Mon and I were in SoFi Stadium for the Super Bowl. It was the Rams home field, and I'm telling you right now, Jeff, it was 60-40 Bengal fans.
Yeah,
it was.
It was probably like 30% Rams, 10% 49ers, and 60% Bengals. That was their home stadium.
Yeah. Let me sound like potty mouth Eric. No bullshit.
Yeah,
it was 60%. It was 60%. I want to piggyback on that real quick. Bengal fans don't get the credit for traveling.
Oh no, they travel.
When I go to Miami, the game in Tampa, there are Bengal fans all over the place. The 2013 game I went to in Miami with Geno Atkins, unfortunately got hurt that game. We were there. There are Bengal fans all over the place. You could hear Bengal chants in Miami. I mean, we travel very well. We don't get enough credit for that.
Now, I went to the AFC Championship game in 21, and Bengal Jim had his tailgate there. We took over that whole area. There were so many damn Bengals fans in Kansas City. It was ridiculous. The night before, I think they call it the Gaslight District. It's kind of like their version of the Banks. It's a really cool place. It's indoors. They have a whole bunch of different Bengals fans or different bars there. It was completely full of Bengals fans. We took over every bar. There's probably like 5 bars in there. We took over all of them. There was a common area that I guess you couldn't get into bars. You could stand out there. We took that over. I mean, there were Bengals fans everywhere. So, yes, Bengals fans travel, and I'm agree with you. We don't get the credit for that. They travel all the time.
So let me ask you guys this, because I think this is a great question. You know, we talk about the Joe Burrow effect. This deal getting signed, how much does the Joe Burrow effect have on this deal getting signed? Again, I'm not saying we talked about it on your show, Jeff. You know, the Browns and the Blackburns, they get a lot of well-deserved crap for the way they do things sometimes. But this family, both of them, have been very loyal to us as Bengal fans and the city when it comes to, you know, again, you said it earlier, they easily I'm telling you right now, I thought they were out the door. I thought they were going to Baltimore. Yeah. So you look at what they've done and the loyalty that they've had to the city, to the fans. I still think this deal probably gets done, but this Joe Burrow effect is real, right? I mean, it definitely has there's a piece of that pie that Joe Burrow is a part of when you look at the revenue. You guys talking about, you know, we all said how Bengal fans travel well now. Everybody has become a Bengal fan because of Joe Burrow and Jamar and all this. But the effect of Joe Burrow has made on this organization and the city is just absolutely insane. And I don't think enough people talk about the effect that he has on this city, Jeff.
Yeah, it's definitely true. I mean, it's not only true for this city, but it's true for this organization. Just since we'll just talk about just this year of who they signed. Joe Burrow came out on Radio Row and flat said, I want Jamar, I want T, I want Mike G, and I want Trey. They've gotten 3 of them. Trey's the next one coming. Carson Palmer said, I'll retire instead of playing for the Bengals unless you do what I want. Mike Brown said, go ahead. That's true. The difference. That's
true. We talked about that on our show. It's 100% true.
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, the Joe Burrow effect is real, and not only on the organization, but yeah, the stadium I think would have got done, but it would have been. Let's just put it this way. Let's say the stadium deal came up when Andy Dalton was the quarterback, and we're going to 5 straight playoffs, and the frustration we all had as Bengals fans. There's some Bengals fans that I know quit being Bengals fans, not very many, and went to another team because of that frustration, which makes no sense to me. I'm like, you're going to the playoffs. Why the heck you give up on your team now? But that's frustration that some of these fans had. If you got the stadium deal going on then, some of the fans be like, go ahead, leave. You know, it could be that. So Burrow coming in here and being the Bengals quarterback and changing everything. Because, I mean, just think of what he got here. I mean, we got a Ring of Honor. We've got different uniform changes. They've added just stuff in general to the game day experience. And maybe they had that in mind before, but none of that happened until Burrow got here. They made everything better since Burrow got here. And I don't sit there and think Joe was sitting there in meetings with Canty like, all right, we need a Ring of Honor, we need this. They, for some reason, wanted to up their game with Burrow. He just brought the level of confidence, competition, and wanting to be better, I think, to this organization than has ever been in this organization's history.
Yeah. I think it definitely made it easier. Absolutely. That's a great question. It made it easier. I think it would have worked out without Joe. I just want to say something. This could be a bad take on my part. With Joe, I think there's 10 elite quarterbacks in the NFL. And if you have one of them, you have a shot.
Oh, yeah.
We have one. He's one of the 10. He's not near 10. He's near the top. But you got to have one of them special players at quarterback and we got him, and we're always going to be relevant as long as he's healthy. I need to be more than relevant. I want to be a champion.
Yeah.
I want to be a Super Bowl champion. I think it's coming. Homer talk, I sincerely think it's coming. But Joe Burrow, we're always going to be relevant. We're always going to be in the discussion. I mean, guys, you have to admit, last year what he did was phenomenal because you know what? We had some lumps of coal in this roster. We had some struggling players that weren't very good, and he compensated for that. But I think with Joe, we're always going to be there, and we're blessed to have him. We're blessed to have him.
So the big thing that I'll add on to that is good is the enemy of great. We were good when we went to all those playoffs in a row. The Bengals didn't think they had to do a lot more. One of the things that I'm really afraid of right now is we are really, really good. We are not great yet. We haven't won that Super Bowl. You're not great until you win a Super Bowl. I'm afraid that this free agency strategy is based on the fact that we're good. We don't have to go swing for the fences. We just need a little bit more. You know what great players do, what great organizations do? They keep taking swings at it, multiple swings. You're not happy with good. Go out there and be great and continue to be great. And I did also want to throw this comment out because I really think this is very, very paramount. We can't just say it's all Joe. It's kind of like the synchronicity of when all the stars align. Elizabeth and Caroline being given the ability to speak up and to take the reins and recognizing that we have a transformational player. Let me do these things because our fans want this. I swear Elizabeth watches our show because we ask for things. We get it. We asked for a Ring of Honor. We got it. We asked for an orange out, whether nobody wants it again. We got it. I'm all for the orange out.
I
I
love
think last year was just a blip on the radar, but we asked for things and we get it. So I think credit to Elizabeth, credit to Caroline, but it was just the timing of it. It all worked out at the same time, and it all happened at a point where Mike Brown was stepping back and said, "Okay, yeah, if you think this will work, go ahead and throw it in there."
Yeah, one thing I'll say, tack on to what Mon said. The only time I've ever rooted against the Bengals my entire life is that game in Florida, where it was us or them to get the number one pick, and I'm like, for the love of God, lose because guys, I still can't believe this cracks me to this day. People on my podcast were trying to argue with me and tell me, "Oh no, we gotta get Chase Young. You win defensive championship, or defense brings championships. You need a damn quarterback. Did you just not see what he did?" And like Chase Young's been okay, but nowhere close to what Joe Burrow is. That is the only time I've ever rooted against the Bengals in my lifetime.
Jeff, I'm going to tell you right now, I 100% agree. That is the only time since 1981 that I rooted against the Bengals. And I remember that. First of all, that game was absolutely insane. The last 2 minutes of that game was the craziest thing you will ever watch. And it was like you're watching, you're like, we're gonna really piss this away.
We're gonna screw this up. We're gonna win.
We're gonna figure out a way to screw this up. And I remember I was on the phone with Mon. We were in separate places, and I was on the phone with Mom, and I was like, "Are we really gonna do this?" I mean, we were like, "This is really going to happen." And I honestly, when the Dolphins kicked that field goal, Jeff, I lost. I was so excited, and I feel terrible saying that.
I know it sucks.
But it was you knew it was going to be if Joe Burrow wasn't our pick, it was probably going to be Tua or Chase Young. And thank God Andy Dalton was trying to win his job.
He was trying so hard.
I was like, Andy, stop.
The funny thing, I was actually in Florida watching that game at a B-Dubs with my father-in-law in Clearwater, Florida, and I thought the game was over, so I had a couple beers. I had to go to the restroom, so I came back, and my father, get over here. And my father is not a Bengals fan; he's a Buccaneers fan, but he roots for him when he watches me. He's I'm like, what? He goes, look, I'm like, what? And he's all sliding in and putting his hands up for the touchdown. Going, what? No! I'm like, oh my goodness. So it was like a playoff game to me. I was going nuts for them to lose. You're like, you guys are going to screw this up. And when we stuck with Chase Young or Tua, and Joe Burrow is freaking sitting there, and people are like, how are you so sure on him? And Mom, we talked about this before my show. I see with my eyes. The dude was a badass. He made all the throws. Like, what more did you want to see?
I know.
Well,
I want to tell you, I'm not going to lie to you. I did want them to lose, but that game was so exciting. I caught myself saying, "F it, win," because it was so exciting. It really was.
Said that. I'm like, don't win.
No, we have perspective. That's what the Bengals get for benching the man on his birthday, which was a Tuesday. You could have benched him on Monday. You could have benched him on Sunday. You benched him on his birthday on a Tuesday.
They recovered an onside kick.
Yes.
They recovered an onside kick with 45 seconds left, and then scored a touchdown to Tyler Eifert.
Yes.
And then they scored on a 2-point conversion afterwards.
Yes.
And I'm like, what? You know what? I'll never forget. Paul Daner sent out a tweet, and his tweet was like, "What in the F are they doing?" He's a reporter that covers the team. He goes, "What are they doing?" And I was like, "Oh, it would have been the most typical Bengal thing if they would have won that."
Right. That's how I'm like, only the Bengals.
I'm a big UCF guy. I graduated. I'm an alumni from UCF, and I watched Joe Burrow. We played Joe Burrow.
Cheap shot.
What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
I said go Bearcats.
We played him, and we basically created him. UCF created him. So I'm at my brother-in-law's. He's a big UCF guy. We all graduated from there. We're watching the game. Joe Burrow's quarterback for LSU. We are dominating them, right? Joe Burrow throws a pick six, and on that play, our defensive tackle absolutely annihilates Joe Burrow. I'm talking about – I looked at my brother-in-law. I'm like, this cat's not getting up from that.
He's dead.
Done.
Yeah.
He's done, right?
He rode him. Yep.
Joe Burrow not only gets up from it, we were up by 2 touchdowns at that time. He did not score again.
Yep.
And after the game was over, I looked at my brother-in-law. I said, Jesus, I hope that guy is a Bengal one day. And sure enough, that's why when it came down to that, I was just like, Andy, please don't do this now. I mean, you've had 10 years to do this. Don't do this now.
Yep.
Let this thing go.
So for me, the game that I remember. Okay, first of all, I remember we always have game 0 or week 0 now, and it was LSU and I think Texas they played that year, and I'm going, LSU's got a quarterback now. I'm like, oh yeah, I said Joe Burrow. I said, oh yeah, I remember him because UC, excuse me, was trying to get him. I said, oh, he looks pretty good, and I kind of watched him, and then I watched the LSU Alabama game. That game, I'm going, I want that guy. I want that guy in stripes. I said, I want the Bengals to lose every damn game so we get that guy. So I don't remember what point of the season that was, but that's the point where I'm like, we need to get Joe Burrow.
Yeah, 100%.
That's kind of the moment. I think if after we have our 10 Super Bowls that we're going to win these next 11 years, I think we all have to look back at that game, at that moment, and say that's when the tables finally turned, because that could have gone against us. We could be talking about Tua and his concussions, or Chase Young signing with another team because he was playing hardball with contracts. So I think we'll all look back at that. Yes, the Raiders game was amazing, but that moment is what changed this franchise, and it's going to be good. Come on.
Absolutely.
No. I can you hear me? Yeah, I thought I had it on mute. I'm sorry, guys. No. I thought we were gonna. Are we gonna end up doing the schedule real quick?
So before we get to that, so we talked our origin stories on sports with Strawberry Ice. I want to get the Iceman's origin story. I've wondered this. I thought when I first talked to Mon about you, I'm like, this guy's got to be a radio host. Got to be something. He's got the radio voice. So tell us your origin story. 1, why are you not a syndicated radio host? And 2, how did you become a Bengals fan?
I thought you were going to ask me how I got that stupid name.
I was actually going to ask you that.
I'll get to all that. Bengals fan, I grew up in Cincinnati. I mean, 81. I was a Bengals fan before that, the pumpkin head with the Bengals on the side. I'm in the 70s. I was born in 75, so I knew of the Bengals. 81 was the first year. I'm like, we went to the Super Bowl. I'm dressed up in I had a Bengals white T-shirt that I colored I remember I colored. They had a thing where I colored a Bengal in, and my mom ironed it on my shirt or whatever. Anyway, that was my Bengals jersey at the time when I was 6, 7 years old. So basically, my entire life I've been a Bengals fan. Radio. So I actually went to radio broadcasting school, and back in 1994, and I actually got a job at 100. At the time, it was 100.9 The Wiz here in Cincinnati. It's the urban station. It's actually now I think 101.1 The Wiz, and I was doing a sports hit on their morning show, and Vanilla Ice was big back then. So I'm a white guy with a red face, and they're like, well, we can't call you Jeff. I'm like, you're gonna put me in the radio. I don't give a crap what you call me. And so they're like, I'm a Strawberry Ice. I'm like, well, that's pretty stupid, but all right, cool. So I was Strawberry Ice. Need to say, I never got another job in radio. I got married. My student loans started coming. I had to get a real job. So forward that on to 30 years later, my son got, YouTube came out. And my son's like, oh, yeah, I want to be a big YouTuber. And I was like, what the hell is YouTube? Like, what are you talking about? and I'm going to do that. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. So this is when he's been talking about YouTube since he was in middle school. So probably freshman year of high school, he's like, Dad, why don't you do a podcast? I'm like, what the hell's a podcast? He goes, you can talk about sports and stuff. I said, where did I do that? He goes, just do it on YouTube. Like, how do I do that? So he showed me how to do it. Like nobody's gonna listen to me, whatever. But he kept bugging me. He said, you should do it. He said, you should do it. I'm like, whatever. So anyway, if I bugged me, I was like, fine. So I worked all night. I came out. I was like, all right, fine. So he just shut up. I did one. So I went on YouTube, created an account. I hit record on my phone. The very first recording I did, it's on my channel still. I'm in my kitchen. And I didn't even talk Bengals. I think it was the NFC Championship game, the Rams and the Saints, where he had that horrible non-pass interference call where the guy completely tackled.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think Yeah, I think I talked about that. I'm like, all right, there, I did it. And next thing I know, I got like 100 views on it. I'm going, I got 100 views on that? How the hell did I get 100 views on that? I'm like, all right. So I'm like, well, I don't know how to go live or anything. And so then I sat over there, took my iPad, and I actually started writing stuff out and get my thoughts and everything, and just started recording videos and put them out there. And I kept getting more and more people liking what I was doing. I actually started getting subscribers. I'm like, people are actually subscribing to me. I'm like, I'm nobody. And then I figured out, I think it'd really be cool to go live because I've always wanted to do this, what we're doing here, just sit there and bull crap and talk sports with other people. So I found out about StreamYard, and then I set that up and I started doing it, and it's just grown from there. I mean, I've gone down to Bengals training camp and talked to different Bengals, and I've had Graham Ashcraft on, I've had Carl Pickens on, I've had Corey Dillon on. Actually, tomorrow, I'll tell you guys this now. I just found out in between our shows, Orlando Brown's going to be on my show, so he's making the rounds. He was on Ace and Sims today, and before that, he was on Malik Wright. He's going to be on mine tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So it's just, I don't know why people, I appreciate it. I do. I mean, I don't know why people like watching my dumb ass, but I appreciate it. So it's something that I've always wanted to do my entire life. I've always wanted to do this, and it's something fun that I enjoy doing. So that's kind of the origin of how I got started and where I'm at now.
Yeah. It's a great show. You do a great job, buddy. You do a great job.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah. We're always shocked and surprised when we get we got Dan Hoare, we got Jeff Hobson, we got we get them to come on, and it's very like, oh, they want to come on, okay, well, let's do this. And so it's
the funny thing is when they recognize you in public, because that trips me out even more, because I'll go to practice and I'll see Dave Lapham every once in a while. He goes, Vanilla Ice, what's up? I'm like, hey, Lap, how you doing? or Ted Care sees me. I'm like, hey, what's up, Teddy K? He's, hey, Ice. I'm like, I geek out on that stuff. I mean, I'm cool with Corey Dillon, which I never thought I'd be cool with. So that's just
a couple years ago. No, real quick, couple years ago, we were in the banks, and somebody came up and wanted to take a selfie with me and Jake, and I'm like, dude, are you serious?
Right, I know.
I'm
It's
like,
weird as hell.
I was like, somebody's punking us right now. I was like, I'm looking for a camera. I'm like, man, who are you? And it was somebody that knows us from the show. And it was,
I haven't had a lot of people do that, but some people, hey, thanks, man, can I get a picture? I'm like,
It's happened twice. It's happened twice.
Yeah. Well,
it's cool. I appreciate it. It's cool.
yeah, I had that. I went to the game in Carolina last year, and I haven't been on the show that long. You guys were doing it before me, but I was producing. Then all the next thing you know, I'm on the camera too. But I was in Carolina and just chatting up with some Panthers fans, and the guy comes up and says, "Are you Eric from the Pulse?" I'm like, and my boys when they're standing with me, they're like, "Seriously, the people know Dad?" And then when we go to Cincinnati, we do these things with Zim, and my boys are like, "God dang it, Eric, Dad's famous in Cincinnati, so."
Oh,
I'll take
people know us.
it.
Yeah.
My kids hate it. I'll be sitting there talking to somebody. They're like, "Does he know strawberry ice?" I'm like, and Jake, you said this on your show. You talk to everybody. I talk to everybody. Sometimes I'm just talking to people. They'll go, "Do they know strawberry ice?" Going, and just to screw, they're going, "Yeah, they knew them." Duh. I'm like, why do you think they're talking to me? Sometimes they are talking to me because of that. Most of the time, I'm just talking to them because I like to talk sports.
We were joking once. I was on the YouTube page. You can see
The YouTube?
YouTube.
No. But what I'm trying to say, like the analytics side, you can see where people are watching your show.
Yeah.
And I saw 18 people in Australia watch the Bengals Pulse.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's
hey
great.
guys, let's go on tour in Australia. We'll go on a bus tour. We'll find these 18 people.
It's crazy. I literally had a guy from Ireland message me one time. I'm going, "How do you know who I am?" He goes, "I love your show." Cool.
Well, I'll say this. I think it is. We have such an incredible fan base.
Yes.
The Bengals I'm talking about.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
we truly have one of the best fan bases, and yes, I'm part of it. But so I might sound like a homer, but just after I have done this show now for over 3 years, and we have got to meet so many cool people and talk to so many cool Bengal fans, and it's such a great fan base. It's so impressive and loyal, right? I mean, I think that's the biggest thing when you meet someone who is a Bengal fan, that they are high character, that they are loyal, especially if they've been around as long as some of us have.
Yeah, you got to be. If you're a Bengals fan in the 90s, you got to be.
Yeah, I actually put being a Bengals fan on my resume.
You put it on your resume. I like that.
I put it on my resume to say, listen, I've been a fan of this horrible team. They were horrible for 25 years of my life, and I still drive a Bengals car around. I'm not going to leave you. And hey, I got the job. Outside of that, so we've talked to Jake. Do you want to add something before we move on?
I just want to say Jennifer makes a really good point here. By the way, hooday to everybody out there. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Jennifer makes a great point here, right? I think this is part of it too, because the national media and what I call it, I call it what it is, and it's a circus. It's a clown show. By the way, Chris Canty, don't get me started on that moron, but they're all just a bunch of clowns as far as I'm concerned. And the national media beats up on the Bengals so much. And I think we as fans, it unites us, right? They try to beat the Bengals down, and all it does is unite the Bengal fans. It really, truly does.
It's us versus them.
Say it one more time.
It's us versus them. It's Houday Nation versus everybody.
Yeah. Agreed, 100%. Go ahead, Eric.
We're all the kids that are getting bullied in school, banding together and say, "Oh, you're bullied too. Let's go take down the bully."
Exactly.
With that,
Go
ahead.
I'm not going to get sucked into it. I'm trying to tune out the national guys. I'm not going to I want to say something, but it'll take up a half hour. So let's move on.
Chris Canty,
just win those battles on X.
Chris Canty's a moron. Well, we can all agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, he is top of how he's got a job is absolutely insane.
Because he says dumb shit like that and it gets clicks. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why. He's doing it on purpose. He's not genuine.
So we just got to start saying stupid stuff.
He literally said today, I think, that our defense is in serious trouble because we don't have Sheldon Rankins anymore. He said that on national TV.
Yes. And I quote tweeted that going, Sheldon Rankins didn't do crap for us. And somebody who follows me is like, well, that's not nice to say because I guess he had I don't know why Sheldon Rankins didn't play last year. I don't know if you guys heard any news of why, but he didn't play half the season. And when he did play, he wasn't very good. And
you're right.
Well,
That
yeah.
so it's not a big loss. Like, what are we losing?
You know what? When
Well-
you say something that bombastic and stupid, let him talk, because you know what? He actually proves your point. Let somebody that's ridiculous talk. That is. And
Yeah.
who was the guy earlier that had tweeted out something? He has a big following on Twitter. He expects a big season from Eric All. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah, and I'm
ridiculous.
like,
That
Eric
was
All has
a
been
big
ruled out.
NFL writer.
Yeah, he's a
Really?
big writer. He goes, Eric All's going to have a great year. What? I mean, that's lazy. That's lazy reporting. And Eric All's
So-
he has no idea what he's talking about. Literally,
right.
So yeah, uninformed takes are the biggest thing that are out there. Sheldon Rankins, it's fine to say that he's a loss for what he could have brought, but he didn't play, and the report is out there. It was kind of not out there for the whole time, but it did come out. He was battling, I think, viral meningitis for most of the season, so he could have been a great addition for us, but he didn't play, and we had to move on. So he's not. It's just the bad takes. It's just ridiculous. Moving on, we wanted to talk about some of the schedule and your predictions. We did a show probably about a month ago with our way too early record predictions. I think I went on the record again saying we're going to go 17 and Joe. I'm still saying that. I will die on that hill until we lose the first time. So going through the schedule, we're going to get you some of your projections on win loss. I don't know. Do you want to give us your thoughts on everything, or maybe go down 4 games at a time?
however you guys want to do it. It's your show, man. What do you guys
You
want
got
to
it
do?
pulled up, Eric?
Yeah. So the stretch I think has been coined as well. Let's go the first 2 weeks. We got Cleveland followed by Jacksonville. We're thinking we're going to go 2-0 on those, or what are your thoughts?
We should go 2-0. I mean, I predicted I think us go like 3-0 or 6-0 the last 2 years, and that hasn't happened. We should go. I mean, these should be winnable games. We should come out the gate and beat their ass. But that being said, we haven't done that. So the logic thinking goes we probably 1-1, but I just can't see that. I'm like, we are better than both those teams. There is no reason that we should lose to them at all. And if they're talking about getting off to a good start, a fast start, which we keep hearing over and over and over again, they're going to change training camp. They're going to start at 10 a.m. They're going to play some of the starters. They're going to do different things like that to try to get off to a better start. Then, yes, I'm going to stick with 2-0 because there's no reason we shouldn't be. And I can't get past that.
Okay, before we go into the next stretch, kind of the gauntlet, I want to get everybody's opinion on this. If we come out of those 0-2 again, is Zach Fire on the hot seat middle of the season?
Mike Brown will not fire his head coach during the season, but his seat will be very hot. If you start off 0-2 and then we have that murderer's row coming up like you're going to go through in a second, that's a bad look for Coach Taylor. I don't think it's going to happen, guys. I think we'll be 2-0 at this point.
I think 1-1 and he's in the hot seat. I'll be honest with you. I mean, those 2 games, when you look at the talent on our side and on those 2 teams, it's not even close. I mean, those 2 games should be layups. And if the Bengals come out and look like they have under Zack Taylor's regime, if they come out and do the same thing that they've done year after year under Zack, I will tell you right now,
it's not going to happen.
Right, we don't know. We have never known Mike Brown to make a move like that. But I will tell you, it will. Hopefully, it doesn't. But it will be very interesting to see if it does happen, what happens with Zack Taylor.
Well, the Bengals, if they, God forbid, they start 0-2, the Bengals will not fire Zack Taylor. The last coach that the Bengals actually fired, that didn't quit, they fired in the middle of the season. No, well, him too, but I was David Shula in '96.
Oh, yeah.
That was the last one.
Right.
Yeah, the last one they fired. Now, Bruce Collins quit, so that one doesn't count. But everybody else, Marvin made it all the way to the end of the season. Nickelodeon made it all the way through the end of the season. So I don't think they'll fire him. But to that point, when I said this on my show, with Zack Taylor, he came out and said when they changed offensive line coach and defense coordinator, these moves are on me. He said, I did this. And, it wasn't a Bengals decision. He said they were on me. When he said that, I'm like, well, that puts more pressure on him because if they're quote unquote his moves and his guys, it would put him on the hot seat. But again, I don't actually think he will be because I don't think the Bengals will fire him because they don't like firing coaches in the middle of the season. 2, I really do think they believe in Zack and they actually let him pick his coaches. So they didn't go and I don't think they finagled this and said, okay, we can pick this guy. I think they let him go ahead, pick who you want. And to me, that's different than what the Bengals have done in the past, where they are usually Mike's got his hands in this. I don't think he had anything to do with who Zack hired. So that's where I go back to. Once I figured, I kind of came to that realization. Zack, it's going to take a lot to get him fired. Not making the playoffs, having a season like last year, could get him fired. I won't even say he'll get him fired from that, to be honest. But 0-2, his seat will get hot from national media and everybody else. But internally, I don't think it will be.
Yeah, I think it was Zach's decision, but I think it was one of those things where they said it's either you or them. You got to fix something, and he went out and this is his swing for the fences. These guys got to save his job, and if it works, when it works, he needs to buy Al Golden whatever he needs to buy him because this is how you save Zack Taylor's career. Because let's be honest, if we miss the playoffs again, and he loses his job. Where is he going to get a job at as a head coach? He's not, because if you can't win with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, you can't win. So you're carried by your players. Let's move on to the murderer's row, as we've been calling it. We go in week 3 to Minnesota, followed by another Monday night game in Denver. After that, we have Detroit at home, followed by a game in Green Bay. So we went down that and really said that this is where it's make or break. What are your thoughts on those 4 games, and can we come out of there at least 2-2?
I think you're at least coming out 2-2. Minnesota depends on the quarterback play. So we got a rookie quarterback in there. So I do think that's that is in Minnesota. That is a tough place to play. Detroit's going to be a hard one. That one might be a loss. Green Bay, I think, can be a win depending on how Love does. And what was the other game? Sorry, I missed that one. Denver. Okay.
Monday Night Football.
Is that here or is that in Denver?
It's Monday Night Football in Denver.
In Denver. Okay. That one's going to be tough. I already said we're going to lose those. So I'm going to have to pick. I said 2-2. I'm going to have to pick that one as a win. Only reason I say that is because we had a shootout with them last year here in Cincinnati. Now it's here and not Denver. But we match up pretty daggone good with that team. I think our defense is going to play better. I think our secondary is going to play better than it did in that game. So that's what gives me a hope that will be at least 2-2. So by my calculations, what will be 4-2 right there, which I'll take that. if we get through all that, we're 4-2. I would
too. Yeah. I would too.
Yeah, for sure. I will say that Detroit Lions game, everybody's thinking and just assuming that Detroit's going to come into Cincinnati and really put it on us. It's a 4:30 game in Cincinnati. That's a very primetime feel. They don't know what it's like in Cincinnati in a primetime game. But Detroit is missed both of their coordinators, and I think that's going to be huge that early in the season.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. That's one thing that caveat that it might be the Green Bay and Detroit game might flip because we don't know how they will respond to losing both their coordinators. And I know their head coach is great, but you lost 2 elite coordinators, and they're not easy to replace.
Yeah, for sure. Before we move on, Mon, you have something real quick to add, or?
Yeah, I just want to add something real quick. When it comes to this season, I know Captain Obvious comment here. The Cincinnati Bengals need to play better at Paycor. We need to regain that. We struggled last year at Paycor. I mean, last year the Bengals were a tough out on the road. We're a good road team.
Better on the road, yeah.
I want that to continue, obviously, but we have got to teams need to come into Cincinnati like, man, it's hard to play here. We need to regain
3-5. Mon, we were 3-5 at home last year. 3 and
Let's flip
5.
it. Let's go 5-3, 6-2. Let's go 8-0. We actually played
8-0.
9.
We played 9 games. We played 9 games.
Yeah,
9 home
I
games.
know.
Yeah.
We got the
there were a lot of
now, so it always messes me up.
a lot of sad trips home. Oh, well, I just want to throw this super chat out there from Hippie Prophet. Says best damn Bengals pod around. I had to get the curse word in there. Wants to know where Iceman got his shirt. I was wondering the same thing because I got a Burrow shirt, but it doesn't have the Superman in it.
Actually, I don't know. This was a gift. So I can't tell you where I got it from. Somebody gave it to me. So sorry. It's an awesome shirt. I love it. As Air Burrow,
right.
man. Yeah, from the Browns game where he threw the touchdown pass and he wouldn't even hit the ground. So whoever made the shirt, you did an awesome job. I just don't know. I can't plug it for you. I don't know where I got it from.
Appreciate it, Hippie Prophet. Appreciate that.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. We appreciate the support.
Yeah, so we'll go through the next 3 games. So right now you have us sitting at 4-2, going into Week 7. Week 7 is the Thursday night home game against the Steelers, followed by Week 8, New York Jets at home, and Week 9, the Bears at home. So we got a 3-game home stretch. What are your thoughts on these?
3-0, 3-0 right there. I like. Yeah,
I mean, this is
good.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would just say the Steelers. Excuse me, I cussed on your show. The Squealers. I'm not buying into Aaron Rodgers and him coming in there and fixing everything. They're not a very good offensive team, yet they're going to run the ball. I don't like because last year Russell Wilson all of a sudden had the fountain of youth and he was doing great, and then the second half came around and he sucked. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to get the fountain of youth. I think the Bengals are going to have their number this year. I think we're going to go 2-0 against the Steelers, to be honest. 1-1 against the Ravens. The Jets are the Jets. That should be a win. The Bears, it will be. They're going to be a better team, but we're more talented. We're a veteran team. It should be a win. I mean, this should be. I don't want to say an easy 3-0 because nothing is easy in the NFL, but you should go 3-0 there.
Yeah.
You can't have a Patriots game.
No,
I'm hoping. Yeah, you can't have a Patriots game. You can't have a letdown like that, especially there. We're gonna go the next 2. We've got the Steelers again and the Patriots, November 16th and November 23rd.
You're in the month of November. That's when the Bengals start cooking. 2-0. So that would make it. So that was in the 5 in a row there. Which
so
I mean,
9-2.
Yeah, 9-2.
So you got us at 9-2.
Yeah, so I mean, November is when seriously that's when the Bengals start cooking. If you can get through
100%.
September, October, November, they are cooking. And that's one thing I want to go back to. I don't want Zack to change a whole bunch of stuff. We got to be at least 500 in the first 2 months. If we're 500, we're good because whatever he does, November, December, we are rolling. I mean, we are ready to go into the playoffs. With Jake Browning as our quarterback, we were getting it going there. I mean, there's something he's got a lock on as far as November, December football that Joe Burrow starts cooking. The Bengals start cooking. They start playing better. So we got to be at least 500 at the beginning of the season and then start rolling November, December right to the playoffs.
Jeff, if the Bengals are 9-2 at this point, if they're 9-2 like you predict, I'm going to fly up and take you to Midwest Barbecue.
Woo!
All right,
let's go.
All right, so
hell yeah.
Yeah. Listen, it's if anybody, I don't know if anybody's played poker, but it's kind of like you got to like if you played a big poker tournament, you got to survive to a certain point. Once you get past the bubble, then it's anybody's game, and that's really what this is. Get out of September and October, get out of it over 500, and then you start rolling. So this next stretch, week 13, 14, 15th is our second big one. We've got Baltimore on Thanksgiving Day. It's great that we play on Thanksgiving, but we won't get into that, how we hate that should have been in Cincinnati.
It should have
been. Baltimore, Buffalo, Baltimore again. Predictions on this?
So I hate it that we're in Baltimore, and I got a buddy of mine at work goes, I want Joe Burrow to quit complaining about playing in Baltimore on Thanksgiving. Like, but dude, we played, this is third year in a row. We played Thursday night in Baltimore, or fourth year in a row. Thank you, Jake. Fourth year in a row. We played primetime in Baltimore. It's ridiculous. It should be in Cincinnati. I got a bad feeling we're going to lose that one. I mean, I hate to say that. Well, 1-1 here in Cincinnati. What's the game in between again?
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
At
Buffalo. That's at Buffalo.
Yeah.
We own them. I mean,
do.
we've went there and beat them. So I mean, I'm not this is not shit talking. This is fact. We went in there and beat them a lot of times. So yeah, I think that's a win. So that's what 2-2. What did I say?
Jeff,
2-1.
one positive about this stretch. This is an ugly stretch. This 3 games. But I expect these young players on defense to be playing better ball at this time.
Yes.
And I expect the secret weapon for 2025 to be running the ball a lot in Taj Brooks.
Yeah.
So I think, by week 13, 14, we're going to see the effects of Al Golden's defense. These young players aren't going to be young anymore. They're going to have some experience. I expect better play.
And that's why this offense – that's why this offense has got to take off from the get-go.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, and I brought this up on my show. When I saw Joe Burrow throw that bomb to Jamar Chase right after Cam Taylor-Britt intercepted him, I can't emphasize this enough. Joe Burrow was not doing that last year in OTAs. He wasn't doing that in any part of OTAs. He's doing that now. Orlando Brown said on, I think, Ace and Zims or Malik, I can't remember, watching both today, Joe Burrow and the offense in his opinion, are the same level where they were at the end of the season. If that offense is at the same level to start this season, we're going to get off to a good start. The defense has just got to maintain and get better. So that's what excites me about this is the offense. Everybody's worried about the defense, which I am too. This offense can start from Jump Street where it was last year. Y'all better watch out.
Yeah.
Well, and we did bring this up before, but we got a super chat here saying Orlando Brown Jr. said the Bengals will win the Super Bowl. And I think that's absolutely on point. We're all homers. We're all excited about this. But the guy's there. He's seeing Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's not coming off of an injury. He's not being tentative. He's out there, and he's seeing December, January Joe in June. And that's scary for the rest of the league. So that's pretty exciting. So let's go into our next the last 3 weeks of the season.
Jake, you had something to say. Go ahead, Jake.
Oh,
no,
sorry.
I was just going to say something to that point because I saw the super chat. Which, by the way, thank you, Nandan, for that. What I was going to say is that when you hear the players talking and you hear guys like Horde and Lap and all the guys that are around the team right now, there is definitely a different feel to this team than what we have seen the last 2 years, to be honest. This team just looks different. They sound different. I don't want to be overly optimistic, but when you got guys,
it's June. You're allowed to be over optimistic. Come on.
When you got guys that
close,
when you got guys that close to the program that are speaking on how good the players look and how the coaches look, and it's just there's a different atmosphere going on right now, a different vibe going on in Cincinnati for sure. And by the way, he's Jeff is 11-3 right now.
Yep. So going into the last 3 weeks of the season, we go to Miami, which the Bengals Pulse and Wincinnati Network has committed to be there. So if you want to make a road trip, Mon wants us to jump on the train. Jake and I want to get a party bus. I think we go party bus from Orlando to Miami.
Round trip on the train. $80. It'll be fun.
Jeff, can you imagine?
I bet party
bus.
Mon on a party bus, Jeff. Mon on a party bus.
Hey,
in December.
I want if you guys do this, I want videos of Mon on the party bus. That's all I want.
We'll have to live stream it all.
With my last name, I'll wind up in Guantanamo. I know that's a dad joke.
Hey, they don't call him Florida Mon for nothing. We'll make sure that it's documented.
Jeff, come down for that game. We'll have a good time.
I will do my best to get down there. I'd love to.
There's no way we lose that game. Go. Your prediction, not mine. Go ahead.
No,
give us your predictions. Miami, Arizona, Cleveland.
I gotta get my orange colored sunglasses on here, but I think Miami will win. Arizona, I think we win. Cleveland's always tough. That was always tough. So we can't win every game. So I gotta pick. I think I gotta pick one we lose. I'm gonna take Cleveland as one we lose. But
we're resting our starters. Yeah,
it's gonna be over. It's gonna be over by then for where I'm at with the predictions I got going on here.
So 13-4.
That's what you had, Jake, right?
That is what I had. Yes, 13-4.
I had 12-5. Eric,
Great
what you
minds
got?
think alike, Jeff. Great minds
Give
think
me
alike.
that pound there. Come on, let's go. Pound it up. There you go.
But hey, I will say, I think even if we bench our starters, we still beat the Factory of Sadness.
I would love it because I'm so tired of them going, oh, we own Joe Burrow. You don't own Joe Burrow.
Not lately. Not the last 2 years.
No, you caught him on. He was hurt. The game in Cleveland where Jamar got one catch that we didn't give a crap about. You beat us there. Like, get out of here with you.
So I don't normally do this, and I'm not sure. You know we're live. You know you're not allowed to be on here. You're my wife, Jeff. I'm sorry, but I will.
Angela, I am a lot of fun on the party bus. You're right.
So I will put this. No, not that one. Don't put that one up there. I'm gonna have to hear about that all night. I'm gonna have to hear about that all night. Don't put that one up there. This one though. This is a great question because we're starting to see the previews of this Netflix quarterback season 2. Jeff, are you excited? I'm actually very excited about it. It's going to be hard because we got to rewatch that crap from last year where we should have been in a Super Bowl.
Yep.
But it is going to be fun to watch the Joe Burrow show because that's what it's basically going to be, right, Jeff?
Oh yeah. I'm totally excited about it. I can't wait to see because Joe doesn't do this. You know,
Right.
Joe doesn't let you in. And so it's gonna be cool because you're gonna go to his house. You're gonna go follow him to different restaurants. You're gonna follow Joe Burrow around, and it's just gonna be cool to see him interacting with his teammates, stuff like that. Yeah, it's gonna suck. We're gonna have to go through watching the season last year that we all went through, but I can't wait for it. The other one I'm excited to see is Peyton's Places. Peyton Manning came in here a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And that'll be, I don't know when that's coming out, but I can't wait for that one too. So that's the kind of cool thing. I think Joe's kind of getting more comfortable in being an NFL quarterback because I don't think Joe is like me and Joe. I think are the complete opposites. I'm kind of, hey, how you doing to strangers? And I think Joe would sit in the corner and just kind of chill and don't care if you talk to him or not. That's his personality. I think he's starting to get more comfortable with being the Bengals quarterback and letting people in.
Being the guy, right?
Yeah, being the guy because he is the guy.
Hey,
you know?
do you guys think I'm crazy? I mean, when
you're crazy. Yes.
I knew that. Let me follow up, add context to that. Okay. No, but the Bengal players are going to watch this and they're going to see the missed opportunities, the frustration. They're going to see the disappointment. You know what? I think psychologically it's going to make the Bengals a better team. Because all these teammates are going to watch this. I really think so.
Well, we had to go through this through the AFC North last year on Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
we had to watch. I remember watching Yoshi, and I can't remember who else was sitting there watching as the Kansas City Chiefs decided not to play and let the Denver Broncos into the playoffs, which they didn't deserve it. We should have been in, and just seeing the dejection on their faces. Yeah, that sticks with them. And that's when Orlando, just like your super chatter here said, Orlando said, we're going to win the Super Bowl. He said on Malik's show, he looked dead in the camera. I said, we're going to win the Super Bowl. That's, dude, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. That's their mindset. That's everyone on this team's mindset is one goal, win the Super Bowl. That's awesome. Because last year we had T and Jamar and all this other stuff. I know we got stuff with Shamar and Trey. I think it'll all get worked out. They're all lockstep in the same direction. One thing, one goal, Lombardi. And when you get guys this talented and this focused, it's going to be hard to beat us this year, despite how our defense is. I know everybody keeps throwing it out there. I just got a feeling, guys. I just like, I'll put it this way. In 2021, this is a story I hate telling because I would have made a lot of money if I actually done this. I was so confident that we were going to go to the Super Bowl that year after Joe Burrow came back from his injury. This is before you could bet here in Ohio. I was going to drive to Indiana and place a $100 wager on the Bengals going to the Super Bowl. And as soon as Evan McPherson kicked that field goal to send him to the Super Bowl, I'm like, I would have won like $3,000. And I didn't. I drove down there to go do it, and the sports book was closed. I'm like, crap, I'll come back and do it. And I never did. And I wish I would have. But my point to this is I feel that confident this year. I mean, people say you watch my show, you feel that confident every year. I'm like, yeah, but I really, in my gut, this just isn't me blowing smoke. I really feel that confident this year, guys, that this is the year.
Well, if you're a Bengal fan, how could you not be confident? You just watched this team go 9-8 with the 28th, 29th ranked defense in the NFL. They went 9-8. How could you not? Their schedule was brutal last year. It was brutal. It wasn't what we didn't think it was going to be in the beginning of the season, but all those teams got so much better. That schedule ended up being brutal. They went 9-8. Again, I don't think people realize how close this team was last year. I mean, we're talking about literally 4 plays away from winning the division. From winning the division and being a top seed in the playoffs. 4 plays. You could literally say 4 plays away. This team was that close with the literally bottom 3 defense in the NFL and probably the bottom 3 interior offensive line in the NFL. They were that close to being that good and winning that division.
That's what upsets me the most about this past season, because Joe was so special. We're going to see it again on Netflix. We're going to see it. We're going to see how good he was. And if our defense was below average, we would have won 3 more games. It was just it was a bad stretch.
I mean,
it can't be that bad.
We're a Tanner Hudson, Mike Gesicki touchdown away from making the playoffs. That's literally
week
first
1.
season, literally.
Week 1.
Yep.
Well, listen, hey, we're at 106 now. Jeff, real quick before we get out of here, I know all these people know where to find you, but go ahead and let them know where can they find you, your show, which is absolutely awesome, and anywhere else. Where can they find you, Jeff?
It's on YouTube, live every day, Monday through Friday at 5. Normally at 5:30. Tomorrow it's at 1 o'clock because that's when Orlando Brown wants to come on. So I change it from time to time. That's why I always make sure you tell you to like, subscribe, share, hit the bell for notifications. So when I go live, you'll be notified. You follow me on Twitter. It's at Jeff A. Trunapole, but Sports Strawberry Ice, so it'll pop up. Instagram, Threads, TikTok. On Twitch. I don't know. I'm old, and I'm way too old to be on all this stuff. But I'm pretty much wherever you get your social media, I'm on there doing something stupid. So I appreciate you guys having me on, and you guys do a great job. So everybody should definitely subscribe to your guys' channel. If they haven't already, you guys do an awesome job. I appreciate you having me on. We'll definitely have to do this again. It's been a fun 2 hours here. I've enjoyed this.
No, it's been awesome, and thank you for having us on as well with the crossover night. All right, guys. Hey,
real quick. I got to show off. It's not finished, but my Bengal helmet. It's Bengal smoke orange. It's like fire smoke, not the color orange. It's not as bright, but the shield's coming. I just want everybody to see that.
That's good.
I'm proud of it. So
Fireman.
The fireman.
I'm proud of it.
The fireman.
When the shield comes in, I'll show the rest.
Before we get out of here, a quick story, Jeff. That was my introduction to becoming a producer. Mon had his Twitter handle. It was just his name. And I said, dude, why aren't you the fireman? Because he's been a firefighter for how many years, Mon? Right?
29.
So
hey, shout out to Mon. He's about to retire too. So congratulations on a great career. Sorry.
18 months.
Yeah.
18 months.
Yeah, before we get you out of here, just saying if you ever need someone to come on and talk Reds baseball, bring one of these guys on because they always jump into our Bengals podcast with Reds information. Mon's wearing a red shirt tonight, so if you ever need to fill time, they'll talk Reds and talk your ear off.
You got a 3 versus the Yankees. I'm gonna tell you right now. Let me tell you right now. Right now, the Reds are a playoff baseball team. Right now, they are a playoff baseball team. Do not be surprised. I know I say this every year. Do not be surprised if we are in the playoffs this year. This team is starting to look different. They have taken 2 out of 3 from some of the best teams in baseball. This team, they don't play good against the bad teams, but they play great against the good ones.
Not listening to Jake.
I'll put it to you this way. I'm sipping the Kool-Aid. I'm not taking a big gulp yet.
Yeah.
We'll find out how they do after the All-Star break and if this front office will actually make a trade to add to this team. But
I like it.
It's been fun the last month. I'll tell you that.
It has been. It has been. All right, guys. Hey, if you like this podcast, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. Make sure you check us out on all the awesome podcast platforms, Apple, Stitcher, Spotify. As always, if you like this podcast, make sure you give us that 5-star review. We very much appreciate that. As always, make sure you check us out all the awesome podcasts right here on the Wincinnati Podcast Network. Jeff, once again, thank you so much. Again, guys, if you heard him every day, 5:30, check him out. He does an incredible job, has awesome guests on. Tomorrow, he's got Orlando Brown Jr. At 1 o'clock, right?
1 o'clock tomorrow, yep.
1 o'clock
yes,
tomorrow. Follow Mon on Twitter at The Fire Mon. Follow me on Twitter at Coach Jake Owens 9. Follow Eric on Twitter at eFlash with 2 H's 88. Follow the Wincinnati Podcast Network on Twitter at Wincinnati Pod. As always, guys, follow the Bengals Pulse on Twitter at the Bengals Pulse. On Instagram, the same without the at the Bengals Pulse. Once again, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You guys are absolutely the best.
Thanks,
love
Jeff.
you. We appreciate you. Jeff, thanks so much, man. A big hooday to you. Guys, we will be here next week talking more Bengals stuff. Hopefully some Trey Hendrickson news, some positive Trey
I'll be in
Hendrickson
Cincinnati.
news.
I'll be in Cincinnati that week, but I'll try to come on.
Yeah.
And Mon will be up in the Natty. All right, guys.
He'll be
Hooday, everybody. We'll see you soon.